I'm going to show you several ways to speed up your Lightroom Classic. We're going to go over some catalog settings and preferences. It's not like one way is just going to make it faster. It's usually, like most things, a few things that will add up to a big speed improvement. There will be a few settings I mentioned that are just good to know. There are some really important things that you should know about. Let's go in your catalog settings first. It's a little bit quicker, and then we'll get into your preferences. So now this is important. When you click on General, and the first thing you should notice is where your catalog is stored. If it's not on your internal drive, stop everything and put it on your internal drive. Make sure that the catalog is on a solid state drive, an SSD. If it is on an external USB spinning hard drive, it's going to be slower. Everything is going to be slower because the drive is not fast enough to give you performance. So the reason why this is more important than where the actual photos are stored is because this is where all the previews are stored. This is where Lightroom looks first at photos to show them to you as fast as it can. So you can see where location is here for my Lightroom catalog. If I click on the show button, it goes to my finder where the Lightroom catalog is located. And you can see down here, Macintosh hard drive and the path to where my Lightroom catalog is. Here you'll notice that there is also in the same folder on my hard drive, my internal hard drive, is where the previews file, where the one-to-one previews are, and the smart previews are stored in its own smart previews file. Next thing up is your previews. You can keep them exactly as I have them here. Standard preview size is fine. This is basically understanding the size of your screen. You don't need previews larger than your screen. If you keep it on auto here, Lightroom will go out and check and verify what screen you have and just give you the right size preview. Preview quality, keep it on medium, that's fine. You really don't need to address that too much. Automatically discard one-to-one previews. So if you're using one-to-one previews, you can load these up on the import. But honestly, you can do them now. All they really do is let you zoom in to 100% without having to wait. Otherwise, when you go to zoom into a photo, you will see where it says loading and you're waiting all that time. If you're doing portraits and you're focusing on the eye and zoom in to check critical focus, that is a scenario that you might want to build those one-to-one previews ahead of time. But if you forget to delete them, they're massive. Files are quite large, so it's going to save you a lot of space if you delete your previews. So 30 days is fine. So here on the import screen, for me, I've just been building the minimum previews, but right here, you can also build embedded Sidecar, standard, and one-to-one previews on import. Also, you can build your smart previews by checking this box, and we're going to talk about that now. So why do you need to build smart previews? Because it's going to make Lightroom run faster. So it takes time to build these previews, so that's why I do it upon import. That way, once the images are in, the previews are built in the background. Once they're built, I don't ever have to think about it again because they stay built. Now, smart previews are different than one-to-one previews. I'm going to show you the difference here. So, for example, if I select this photo, the first one here, you'll notice over here in the library module, right here it says original plus smart preview. So that means that it knows where the original file is on whatever folder is on the external, internal, or whatever drive it happens to be. But it also has a smart preview to look at first that is on my fast internal SSD in that same folder as the catalog. So remember I showed you up here on the import module where you can just click this build smart previews checkbox, and as you import you're going to have smart previews built for everything that's imported. And also remember that I mentioned in the same folder where the catalog is stored on my internal SSD, there is a file for smart previews and a file for the one-to-one previews. If you want the best possible preview you can get out of Lightroom Classic, select your images. I'll select these three right here and come up to the library, previews, build one-to-one previews. So now I have one-to-one previews right now for those three photos. So those are going to help you when you zoom in and check your focus on some of your portraits. Now, one thing about this, there's upsides and downsides. One-to-one previews are going to be the fastest, highest quality, let you zoom in, so forth and so on. They're going to take up the most space. So again, they're going to be in the catalog folder. So just delete after 30 days, you're fine. I showed you where you can create the smart previews on import. No, you don't have to re-import them again to create your smart previews. You don't have to do any of that stuff. just select the image you want to build a smart preview for. Like if I want a smart preview for these 3 images, just select them, come up to Library, Previews, and right there says Build Smart Previews. Click on that. So it tells me smart previews were built or already exist for 3 photos. You've got the smart previews built, and they are not going to go away. They'll stay unless you physically discard them. In fact, you have those still selected. I can come up to Library, Previews, and have all these options. I could discard one-to-one previews, and I can do this by folder, and I can have it discard all the one-to-one previews in that one folder. I can discard my smart previews, say I want to do that, discard the smart previews for selected folders, say discard, and it's done. And here's a chart to help you kind of visualize and associate some of the benefits or features and when you would use smart previews or one-to-one previews. Let's go to your Lightroom Classic settings, your catalog settings, and under metadata, these first 2 in the editing area, you can leave those as they are, except for automatically write changes into Sidecar files. And this one I used to have it on, and I finally realized things were running slow. I turned it off, and then it sped things up again. And this is off by default. But in case you've ever gone in and turned this on, then you might want to come in and turn it back off unless you have a real reason for using it. So what this means is, so when it's on, it means that when I go in and edit a photo, that photo's edit is stored in a catalog. But if I have this turned on, when Lightroom's not busy, when it's sitting idle, it will write those changes into the folder, into a file where that image is stored. Right next to the file, you'll see an XMP file, a Sidecar file, in the same folder where the file resides. If it's a DNG or a JPEG, then it will store it actually in the file itself. Since my files are native RAW files, it will store it as an XMP Sidecar next to the file. So it writes it while Lightroom Classic is not busy or when you go to another photo. So turn this off unless you have a specific reason for having it on. You can also, like for instance, if you're in your library module in the grid view, you can select the photos you want to write the metadata to a file and hit Command or Control S, depending if you're on Mac or PC. And you can also leave this on if you're worried about a corrupt catalog, but then you should be backing up your catalog anyway. But just real quick on this note about leaving it on, which now I'm leaving it on because you may want to use Lightroom Desktop to edit a file. And if you're familiar with Lightroom Desktop, you just get on the local tab and point to that folder and that file, and you can edit it. And because you have the XMP file, you have the edits from Lightroom Classic. Now you may want to use Lightroom Desktop because you like the interface, and you already have all the edits from Lightroom Classic in your XMP files. So maybe it's the case for kind of switching to Lightroom Desktop without doing too much. All right, under address lookup, you see lookup cities, state, and country, GPS. Yes, that's going to look at your GPS coordinates and give you a city, state, and country. Really handy. Then you get to export suggestions whenever address fields are empty. You don't have to really worry about that. Under face detection, automatically detect faces and photos. I would check this unless you really need the fastest speed and you weren't concerned about people focus. However, you can look at someone's face and find all similar faces. That's really handy. So I'd recommend turning that on, then write date and time changes to proprietary RAW files. I wouldn't recommend turning that on. It's rare that you would really need to do that. If you change the date, that's fine, but it'll just do that in the Sidecar file. And then under your catalog settings for backups, here's where we set up the backup location. And here for the backup folder, I have set it up to go to another SSD that's going to back it up in a different place other than my hard drive. So every time Lightroom exits, that's what you want to choose right here where it says backup catalog. All these other options, but you at least want to do it once a week, but I choose to do it every time Lightroom exits. And the location of your backup folder is kind of important. So you have a couple of options here. One, you can change it so the backup is off-site, or in other words, on a different drive than your main drive. Because what's the point of backing up your catalog if you're backing up to the same drive and then that drive fails? So I back up my catalog on an external SSD. Another way I can make sure my backups are off-site, so I can come up here and I have a Google Drive application that is installed on my computer. And under settings and under my preferences, this is where I set up a folder on my Google Drive. So it's pulling that backup folder and it is mirroring it to the cloud and syncing it. So it's backing up my backup folder off-site. That's a really helpful thing to do. So one of those options should work for you. So those are pretty straightforward catalog settings. So now let's get into your preferences. Of course, you can come up here to the Lightroom Classic menu, and there's your preferences. We'll start in the General tab. This is really important, not necessarily for speed, but just in general. So right here, it says the default catalog. When starting up, use this catalog. And by default, it says load most recent. But there could be a couple of scenarios where Lightroom is looking in a folder where it's not necessarily your most recent catalog. It could be a backup catalog. So you can load one of these and not realize that you're running the wrong one. So what you want to do is have a master catalog, one master catalog, and you need to call it out exactly like I have it here for myself. It is going to open up a specific catalog at a specific location every time. The rest of these things here, you can keep as they are. Now we'll go to presets. You really don't have to worry about it. Just keep these as they are. External editing, not necessarily for speed, but this is kind of handy. You should be trying beta. So right here where it says Photoshop version, if you want to try beta, and when you hit edit in, you can set it up to Adobe Photoshop beta. In file format, you can choose TIFF or PSD. I choose TIFF. Color space, ProPhoto RGB. That is a pretty good color space. That's what I'm using. And then something that's critical, make sure you're opening up in 16 bits, not 18 bits. It's really important to preserve any color space and bit depth. So if you're shooting RAW, which you should be, everybody should be shooting in RAW files. So now this has nothing to do with speed. File handling tab. While we're here, nothing you really need to change here at all. Interface, that's not really going to adjust any speed at all. Performance in your preferences really will affect the speed quite a bit. Make sure that you've got a decent graphics processor. If you use Lightroom Classic and you buy a new computer, start with the fastest GPU you can get. Yes, make sure you have a fast SSD and enough RAM, but the biggest speed improvement you can give Lightroom from a hardware standpoint is a fastest GPU. But this panel will affect the speed quite a bit. Here's the deal. If you have a new computer, keep both of these on auto. So use graphics processor on auto. Use GPU for preview generation, put it on auto. If you have an older computer or you made your own computer or you're on a PC with a lot of different parts, Adobe can't account for every scenario with every computer and every GPU and CPU configuration. If your computer is running slow, what you might want to do is turn this off, then try it for a day and see if it speeds up the computer. So just try that. You might find it actually works faster. If you're using a new computer, I would keep this on auto. But again, if you want to experiment a little, there has been scenarios where simply turning these off increases the speed of the computer because the configuration is other than what Adobe has designed for. So down further, where it says Camera Raw Cache Settings, this is more of a setting things. So this is one that most people don't ever go in and change, and therefore that's why you have performance issues, or one of the reasons. In the Performance tab in your preferences, there is a Camera Raw Cache setting. So two things about this. Number one, increase the size. I think it defaults, and I'm not mistaken, to something extremely low. Increase it. Give it some room to work. So what this is saying is the more room you give this, the more cache files Lightroom can hold on to without discarding the oldest ones, and therefore show things faster, like when you're in the development module, when you're editing your photos. Number two about this is you can choose where these caches are stored. If you are out of room on your internal drive, you don't want to take up any more room there. Or maybe this is a way to clear some room. You can move the location of this to an external drive if you want. Make sure it's an SSD. So take a look at that number. You see I've only got mine set to 50 gigs. You can set it higher. You can set it lower. It's just really depending on how many images you like to work with on a particular shoot at a time. I find 50 gigs works well for me for the volume of images I work with. So you might want to experiment with that number. Try it for a few days. And you can also purge this to free up storage. You see the Purge Cache button right there. So let's go down here to Enable Hover Presets of Presets History and Snapshots in Loop. This is often overlooked if you have a lot of presets. But here's what happens. When you have a lot of presets, Lightroom is generating a preview for all of those presets. For every photo, imagine how much capacity a GPU and CPU and memory that takes. You can disable this so it doesn't have to build all those previews, or you can simply delete the presets that you're not using. But if you have a lot of presets and you have this enabled, this hover preview, that might be one of the reasons why your computer is slowing down. Something to look at. Next, use smart previews instead of originals for image editing. Now, while we're here, there's a bonus one for the development module. Use smart previews instead of originals for editing. I do not have this turned on, but it will increase your performance while you're editing the images. Now there's a warning. This will allow increased performance, but may display decreased quality while editing. Final output will remain full-sized and high quality, but in other words, if you're working on an image that is not that high quality to begin with, then it may make it look worse while you're in the development module to make it faster. So that is why I don't have this turned on. I'm usually working on high quality images, but I don't have to have this turned on because I don't want to see lower quality while I'm in the development module. But again, if you say the development module is dragging on my computer, then by all means, go ahead and turn this on. And sometimes if Lightroom Classic is just acting strange and it takes forever to bring it up, or you go to then it would show you a different photo than the one you clicked on, I might realize at that point that I hadn't optimized my catalog in a while. So if you go up to your file menu where it says optimize catalog, it'll show me the last time that I optimized the catalog. So hit that optimize button. And I also have this set to do it automatically when it backs up my catalog. Just optimize your catalog because this will discard and purge stuff it doesn't need and may be slowing things down. You can run this every day. It's not going to hurt anything. So you're not hurting anything by how often you run this, but definitely don't let it go too long without running this on a regular basis. Now back to your performance tab and down here where it says generate previews in parallel. You don't have to worry about that much. You can turn that on. You know, just as if you have a certain preview generation, it'll just do that in the background. So that pretty much covers as far as preferences go. Last but not least, this is one that I need to do and I haven't done in a long time. And that is, as we all know, we install plugins, all kinds of stuff, and sometimes we just don't use them anymore. Well, every time you boot up Lightroom, it has to check all those plugins and all those things you've installed every single time whenever you're not using them or not. So in my file, go down to Plugin Manager, and here are all the plugins I have in Lightroom, and there could be a few things that technically could just be deleted. I can't remember the last time I used them. So things like Aperture Photo Import plugin, Canon Print Studio, I can either delete it or disable it at the least. Flickr, I don't use that anymore. I can disable it or delete it. Why not delete it if I'm not going to use it? This plugin here, it was a licensed version. I have no idea if I can ever get that back, but I should be disabling it or deleting it. So again, that means every time Lightroom Classic boots up, it has to load that plugin. If you don't use it anymore, then by all means, at least at minimum, disable it. And so there's a few general hardware considerations besides the settings in the preferences and the catalog settings. So you can store your photos on a drive that is not an SSD, but still SSDs are small and they're at a good price these days. So why not move your photos to a fast SSD? For your external drives, make sure you're using quality cables. If you buy a new computer, at a minimum, get 2 terabyte internal SSD drive. Plenty of space for catalog files and caches. I usually keep a year's worth of photos on my main drive and then have Lightroom move them to one of my external SSDs. If Lightroom Classic has been feeling slow lately, start with the simple fixes first. Your storage drive, preview settings, cache locations, and GPU settings. Those tend to deliver the biggest improvements for most photographers. Let me know in the comments what's slowing Lightroom Classic down on your system and which of these tips helped the most. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Lightroom Classic and Photoshop tutorials. Remember, it's never too late to learn. Thanks for watching.